What's up, everybody? Coach Ceelo here, and today is podcast number 10 of the No Bullshit Six-Figure Sales Podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We're going to be going over step 3 of the sales process. So, step 3 of the sales process is your personal competency. All right. So step 1 was the greeting. Step 2 was building rapport. And now step 3, we're doing the transition, right? Where you just finished and you said, hey, thanks so much for sharing a little bit about yourselves with me. So we're not strangers. Let me tell you about myself, right? And you start your personal competency. Now, during your personal competency, the purpose is you're answering one of the big questions in their minds, which is why you? Why should they buy from you, right? And the idea is that this is a phrase I got from Jordan Belfort. The idea is that you're showing them that you're sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and a force to be reckoned with. And you are showing all of that, but at the same time, you're still building more rapport based on the things that they talked to you about in the last step. Now you can weave into your personal competency some things that will get them to like you more, get them to think you're more like them, get them to think, wow, this person understands where I am in my life right now. And not only that, but we're kind of, we think alike or we feel alike in many things, right? People want to do business with the best. If you walk into a car dealership, you want the person that's on point. If you are selling Xerox machines, they want the person who knows everything about those machines. The bottom line is you want to deal with the best because you want your problems answered quickly and you want situations solved. So you have to give them that idea. What you're gonna do is you're gonna create a short 1-minute elevator pitch about yourself. Now, is it really 1 minute? No, but I'm just saying it needs to be short. Remember something, with them, what's in it for them? They care about themselves. This is not you trying to impress them. The minute that you think you're trying to impress them, you're thinking too much about yourself. They don't care that much about you. What you're trying to do is give a really quick glimpse or image that they're dealing with somebody important. But that's it. You don't want to be talking about yourself too long. You just want to kind of really quickly. And so it depends on what industry you're in and what you're doing. Some of it may have to do with academic backgrounds. Some of them may have to do with business accolades. But you kind of want to go through that quickly and then focus more on the things that will create that bond and that connection with them, Talk about your experience. Talk about how you got here today, how all of your life experiences got you to where you're at. And that's why you are so qualified to give them opinions today. Talk about your passions. I taught you that when you're building rapport, that you do H form, right? Hometown, family, occupation, recreation, money. Well, now share a little bit. Now, you did some of that when you were building rapport with them, right? But share your H form. Share about your hometown, about your family, about your occupation, about your recreation, about your motivation. Side note, the professionals, you're going to have more than one of these, depending on the person you've got in front of you. All of them are real. All of them are true. I'm not asking you to bullshit your way and say things that aren't true. I'm just saying mix and match the experiences of your life to create a certain who am I story, and then have 2 or 3 of those. I'll give you guys an example. If I'm sitting in front of a C-level exec or somebody who's very successful, my story is going to talk about how successful I've been, and even the positions I've had and the things I've done are going to be based on that. So let me give you an example. I'm going to talk about being a regional manager for a large company. I'm going to talk about how I was the director of expansion for a large telecom and energy company. I'm going to talk about how I helped one company go from 20 million to, or 21 million to 50 million. I'm going to use those stories. Whereas if I'm talking to somebody that, had I said that, they wouldn't be able to relate with it, why would I say that? They're going to think this guy's full of himself. This guy's full of shit. I don't like him. Who does he think he is? I wouldn't do that. Instead of saying I was the director of expansion for a large telecom and energy company, I'll just say, you know, before this, I used to work for a telecom and energy company. And before that, I worked for a language company. I used to speak 6 languages. I don't anymore. Giggle, giggle, laugh, laugh. I'm down to 3. And move on. Remember how earlier in the past podcast, I talked about leaving little threads, little seeds, breadcrumbs? I just did one. If they're interested in knowing what languages I used to speak, they'll ask. If they're interested in languages or culture, they'll ask. And if they're not, then they won't. I left the breadcrumbs there. If they took it, great. If they didn't, move on. That was just a little piece. It was a little seed I dropped, right? So have different variations, you know, one for people who aren't as successful, you know, one for people that are successful, one for snobby people as well. And that way, when you're sitting in front of them, they will be thinking, oh my God, he's just like me. I like this guy, right? So it resonates with them. So this is how you guys are going to deliver that. Remember something. The most important thing about the who am I is not what makes you feel good. Even though feeling good's important, the feeling good part you needed to do 15 minutes before the presentation. Whatever you needed to pump yourself up and feel good. There is a purpose and a reason for every single word you say in your presentation. And in this one, it is just to answer one question. Why me? Why should you be listening to every word I say right now? Why should you take my advice right now? Why should you answer the questions truthfully that I'm going to be asking you later right now? And the reason why is because you're showing that you're sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and a force to be reckoned with. Guys, my name is Coach Ceelo, and I have helped countless people achieve, break through, and maintain 6 figures in sales. And if you keep watching these podcasts, you'll be the next.